What's up, weirdos, and welcome back to the PopCon Podcast Award-nominated Universe of Weirdos. Best comedy podcast, baby, and in my heart, I believe it. In my heart, we are the best thing going today. And I am your host, Jay Kraft, the only podcaster that has legitimate superpowers. And I will not tell you what those superpowers are, otherwise the government will come looking for me. And we're back with another one today. I gotta be honest with you, not excited to be doing this episode. I'm not excited at the fact that reviewing Michael Donkey Lips Bauer's stance on comedy has become my most popular episode that I've done in a long time and my most feedback gotten episode of all time so far in the short less than 100 episodes of this podcast so far. So, I mean, hey, to be award nominated when you don't even have, I mean, we've been around for like a year. We're doing pretty well for a podcast that's been around for a year. But yeah, the old Donkey Lips episode, huh? Let's talk about it. That's what we're here for. This is my final word on Michael Ray Bauer, Donkey Lips. So if you don't know, I did a podcast episode a week or so ago reviewing Michael Donkey Lips Bauer and his stance on comedy. And it was essentially a guy who was on a 90s sitcom on Nickelodeon, now as an adult, talking about what his view of what real comedy is. So I was like, you know, sitcom actor. He's telling us what we should be laughing at. Maybe he has something that he wants to talk about. Maybe he has a good perspective. And I quickly learned that no, it was just a bunch of sour grapes, a bunch of bitching about people bitching at me on the internet, and that's really all that his whole thing was. It was don't make fun of people unless you specifically call yourself an insult comic, and it was just really bad. And you know, I do these feedback and questions episodes, so I always very much invite people to respond to the episodes that I put out. You can do that in many ways. You can find me on X. I am jcraft247. Instagram, I am UniverseOfWeirdos. I don't get a whole lot of stuff on those two things, but I do get a lot from my email, universeofweirdos@gmail.com. And that's where a lot of you kind of send me your random things. I have friends that listen to this show that know my phone number, so they'll text me while they're listening. And you know, it's good. I invite the interaction, and I appreciate the interaction. But this stuff with Michael Ray Bauer, with Donkey Lips from Salute Your Shorts, has gotten a little out of control. So I'm just going to go ahead and address everything, put my final stamp on this. I don't know how long this episode's going to be. It might be pretty short. I don't know. But he did make a video in response to the podcast episode that I put out, which doesn't surprise me because he seems like somebody who Googles himself on a regular basis to see who's talking about him, seeks out content about himself to see if anybody's saying anything that he doesn't want them to say. I don't know. It seems like he likes getting his feelings hurt sometimes. But he put out a video 2 days after I put my podcast out that was basically like, you know, people have been trying to give me advice lately. A lot of people say I'm just digitally panhandling and all kinds of stuff that made me believe he was absolutely talking about my podcast that I put out. And I had enough of you reach out to me lately and essentially confirm it. Like, I mean, when I first thought, I think this guy might be talking about me, and then I've had like 4 or 5 people going, yo, Donkey Lips responded to you on YouTube, check it out. I kind of start to think that maybe he was actually responding to me. He didn't have to say my name. I don't need him to. I don't need the residual Donkey Lips plug or whatever, the subscribers that might come from getting a shout out on the Hey Bauer YouTube channel. Not interested. So I'm going to go over some of this Donkey Lips feedback that I have some of the listener interactions that I've had, and I'll fill in some gaps because, man, with that thing, his feelings were pretty hurt, but also I feel like I was being very fair to him. Like, I feel like I was giving him the benefit of the doubt. I wasn't making fun of him. I wasn't going, you lard ass idiot, fucking stupid, lispy moron. I wasn't doing any of that. I was, responding to his takes and basically saying that his takes suck. But I wasn't like, kill yourself. I wasn't mean to the guy. I was just, maybe didn't respond too positively to the points that he made because the points that he made weren't good points. I'm sorry, but, that was the point of a review is to, review something and be fair about it. And I was being very, very fair. So here we go. I got a lot of feedback from you guys, and we're going to go over it and see what's up. Dan sent me this one. I think Michael Bauer responded to your podcast in a very vague YouTube video where he also claims that no one is on his level. Yeah, I saw that too. And the video that he's talking about, it's called Thank You for Being a Friend But. And in that video, he's like, nobody's on my level when it comes to this stuff. And I don't understand what point he was trying to make, but there was also, he went live later that night and I watched some of it with my wife. And he did say in it that he's just more intelligent than people that are on this area of the internet. I'm more intelligent than people who play around with this side of the internet. And then like 2 sentences later, he said, I probably should accept her apologize. I should accept her apologize. I'm more intelligent than most people on the internet. So yeah, I don't understand with his videos. Did you ever reach out to him? Did he ever respond? I did. He did not. I'm dying to know how this is playing out. I mean, I think you're seeing how it's playing out. He's hurt and has no interest in changing his behavior or taking any advice. Like, instead, he looks at it all as bullying, which it is not. It's not bullying, dude. It's, you're putting yourself out there and people are responding to it and you're not liking the response. So sorry. And I'm sorry that you don't have thick skin. I'm dying to know how this is playing out. People calling out lol cows is literally my favorite content to consume. And as someone with a very heavy stutter, I appreciate you taking his lisp off the table as something to make fun of. Yeah, exactly. And I didn't make fun of his weight either. Like, I took that stuff off. I wasn't going to call him a fat ass. I wasn't going to call him washed up. I actually gave him his props, right? I actually said maybe he has points that are worth listening to about comedy because he was on a sitcom. So I gave the guy his due, but he proved to be nothing, like, and have nothing to show for it. I've been laughing at this guy forever. He essentially begs for money on every video and then gets offended when anyone points that out. The term e-beggar set him off about a year ago. Okay, yeah, I mean, I know that a lot of people follow him to laugh at him, but I only came across that video because a lot of you guys reached out to me when I was like, I think I'd rather have Goldberg as a friend than Donkey Lips. And then a lot of you were like, dude, Donkey Lips has his own YouTube channel. Check it out. So I checked it out and then saw that he had an opinion on what comedy was. So that's what led us to this point. I didn't think that he was going to like get all butt hurt. And I even like offered him help and stuff. He could have easily emailed me or anything just to go, all right, man, help me out a little bit. But he didn't because he's too proud. He's too intelligent. He's smarter than everyone else on the internet. And like he also, with his, digital panhandling that he does this whole like, this is a show. I'm providing a service type of excuse for doing it. And that's not an excuse because it's not a show. It really isn't. Like he basically begs for all of his shit. Like, give me money. Here's all of my stuff. Buy my bootleg merchandise, all of this shit. And then gives about 2-3 minutes worth of bitching about a problem that he has or complaining about his anxiety. And then again, any way that you can help me out, hit up the Patreon, hit up my merch, links below, become a member, It's all that shit. So it's, I don't know. I would think do that shit at the end, right? Like I plug stuff on this show when I need to. Like I'm always like, hey, rate, review, subscribe, and all of that stuff. But I do that at the end, at the very end, when I'm finished giving you all of the content that I'm expecting you to consume. That's when I sell to you. Like I don't have any reason of like start. Imagine if I started off every podcast going, I'd like for you guys to rate and review and subscribe, follow my Instagram. Like if I just plugged at the beginning of every single show, my average listening time on every episode would be 2.5 minutes because people would tune out. They'd have no interest in listening to a guy just push shit on them all the time. Provide your entertainment and then tell people how they can support you. I don't get it. As I've said before, sometimes people discover my shit on YouTube, and I would appreciate if you discover my podcast on YouTube. I would really appreciate if you would subscribe on one of your music apps, like a Spotify or Amazon Music or Apple Music, like wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe on there instead of following me on YouTube because it helps out a lot more for what I'm not trying to do anything on YouTube. I'm not trying to be a YouTuber. My podcast just automatically goes over there. So if you subscribe, that actually helps a lot more towards what my goal is with this podcast, which is getting a consistent enough number of downloads to justify ads, because right now I'm not going to sell to you guys right now. I don't feel comfortable doing it. I've been doing this for less than a year. Excuse me. Let me clear my throat. Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this for about a year and, we have been growing a lot, but I'm not going to take advantage of that growth yet and start going like, and DraftKings use the promo code whatever, and I'm not going to do that yet. I want to wait until I feel like I have a better understanding of my audience and what you guys actually would want in the sense of advertisers and products that you might actually spend your money on. But this dude found me on YouTube, 122 Hours of Fear, and he decided to tell me he's a bum, talking about Michael Ray Bauer. He overshares every facet of his life because that's all he's got. It's pathetic. Yeah, 122, I agree with you, buddy. He is certainly an oversharer. And it is like the only thing that he has. He shares these facets of his life because he thinks that it's interesting, but it's not interesting. It's not interesting at all. Like he made a video of going to the store and spending $80 worth of food stamps. Was a YouTube video that he did. Why is that interesting? We want to watch an old Nickelodeon actor go to the grocery store? And he just basically shares all of the mundane things because that's all that he experiences. He doesn't go out and do anything with his friends. Ray sent me this email. R.E. Donkey Lips is what the email was. You could give him the best advice in the world and give him the exact map to get there, but he won't listen. This has been his MO for years. Yeah, I've noticed that too, because when he went live, I was looking in his comment section and Adam Bush was in there, he's on Who Are These Podcasts, but he was also a Nickelodeon actor. He was on the Shelby Woo TV show, and he was like, hey man, if you need contacts to get a convention agent, let me know. And that shit just gets ignored because he doesn't care. He doesn't want the help. Donkey Lips has no interest in having anyone help him at all. He's a fucking loser. That's what I've learned over the last week or so since being, at least somebody who is willing to, hey, let's hear this guy out. Let's try to see what he's all about. And now it's just like, oh, we see what he's all about. He's all about grifting his fans. He's all about being a fucking loser and then complaining about how he's a loser. I don't want anybody to point it out. Well, then stop being it. I don't know what to say. Dave says, all of Bauer's merch is bootleg salute your short stuff. What will happen to him when Nickelodeon sends him a cease and desist? Talk about glory days. This guy is 51 and still trying to coast off something he did for 2 years before he was even old enough to get pussy. Yeah, it's a little harsh, but yeah, you're right. He is. He's still, I think he was 13, I believe. I went back and looked up a little bit more about him since he started this little tift. And he has an interesting story. Like he could be interesting. He could be a good guest on a podcast probably, but doing his own show, maybe like a second or third mic on another show where he doesn't talk so much and there's somebody who can actually host and rein this fucking guy in and basically limit how much he speaks. He could probably do pretty well on something like that, but the guy has an interesting story. He was discovered by Quincy Jones. He sang on the We Are the World and this is all legit shit. He was in the Moonwalker, Michael Jackson movie, all kinds of stuff. But instead he just goes on his YouTube channel and just talks nonsense. It's weird. And yeah, you're right. He's still coasting off of the thing that he did when he was 13. And it's just like, hey guys, remember this? Buy my merch, and it's all Donkey Lips merch or Salute Your Shorts merch. And you're right, it's bootleg stuff. I looked at it too. He's selling DVD sets and shit. Like, uh-oh. You're pretty fucked up. But you're not the only one that pointed that out. I'm pretty sure this next guy, Brian, lard-ass Donkey Lips needs to leave the internet. He's a cry bully. But he also made a video transvestigating Daniel Radcliffe's girlfriend. So yeah, you're not the only one that's pointed this out. Somebody also told me that he made a video saying that Harry Potter's girlfriend looked like she was trans. And then he tries to say, I don't like when people bully me. So I don't know. He's a big Trump guy, but lives off real taxpayers and seems pretty racist at times. He's a Christian when it's convenient. He also slut shames anyone who does OnlyFans or uses their sex appeal to get clicks. He sells bootleg DVDs and all kinds of other stuff owned by Viacom. He doesn't want to stop being a piece of shit. He just wants people to stop calling him a piece of shit. He talks crazy shit about people, then puts those videos behind a paywall to protect himself from responses. Yeah, I mean, you seem to have him pretty pegged. He also once claimed that Melissa Joan Hart was his first girlfriend. Is that true? Did he really say that? Because I need to see that clip. Someone please send me the clip where Donkey Lips claimed that Melissa Joan Hart was his very first girlfriend. Because I'm just saying it now. No, she wasn't. I fucking guarantee you she wasn't. Let me see this. She dated Ryan Reynolds. She's married to some dude. Donkey Lips ain't on there, man. Just on this quick little Google search that I just did. Oh, man. You would think if you dated Melissa Joan Hart, she could probably at least subscribe to your YouTube channel, right? Help you out of this poverty a little bit. She's still got that Sabrina the Teenage Witch money. Ask your ex for some of her money. She dated Melissa Joan Hart? No, he didn't. That's fucking crazy. Let's see. So Sammy wants to know, how does this guy actually pay rent and stuff? There's no way he can survive off Nickelodeon residuals from 30 years ago. They don't even get residuals. The Nickelodeon kids from that time, they didn't even get residuals. I'm guessing it's from YouTube money. He probably has a lot of government assistance, disability payments, things like that. The YouTube stuff probably trickles in a little bit. Some of his bootleg merch. There are people out there that like they have the nostalgia bug and they would buy a cool Camp on Awana t-shirt or whatever. I could see that happening, but I don't know, man. I genuinely have no idea. I have no idea how he pays his rent. I don't know, but it's got to be off of government assistance and stuff because I don't think that the YouTube stuff does it. I just don't think so at all. Here's my favorite one in response to all of this. This is from Jay, one of my good buddies. You have a good speaking voice. You have a deep voice, but when you get flustered, your shit goes real high, and that makes me laugh so hard. Yeah, my wife points that out too. Anytime somebody says something ridiculous, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, I get high up there. Don't kill me. But why did you decide to punch down on someone like Donkey Lips? Mocking millionaire Opie is one thing, but this dude is almost homeless. So's Opie. I don't feel bad for him, but you really hurt that man's feelings. I actually don't like any of this dabble stuff because they just make fun of people who are easy to make fun of. That's why I like when you make fun of Opie because he's rich. I'm still punching up from a entertainment standpoint. Like I was not a former sitcom star. I've never been on a sitcom. I was never in movies. You know, I don't have a fan base from the 90s from my glory days. So from an entertainment standpoint, I'm still punching up. He still has bigger numbers than I do on YouTube, which YouTube's not my focus, but I guarantee I have more listeners to this podcast than he has members of his YouTube channel. But at the same time, you know, that's still punching up. And to say that I was punching up at Opie, but down on Michael Ray Bauer is wrong because, I mean, let's lay this out. Donkey Lips is lonely. He's doesn't have much friends. He's floundering on the internet. He's relevant because he did something that was successful once a long time ago. Now, Opie is lonely. He's floundering on the internet. He was relevant for one thing that he did a long time ago. You know, they're just like basically the same person. And I don't know if you've been paying attention, but Opie's basically almost homeless too. He just lives in very expensive properties that he was able to buy when he had a lot of money. But I mean, they're basically the same guy, dude. They're just dudes who go on the internet and bitch about stuff. So I don't feel like I'm punching down at either one of them. I feel like I'm still punching up, but I mean, Opie's unemployed, lonely, and desperate as well. So, you know, that's not punching up. You know, I don't know. But yeah, I hear you. I don't necessarily like making fun of people who are like super easy to make fun of. Like there's nothing fun about that. Hey, you're fat. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Like whatever. So let's see. Dean, even if they made a Salute Your Shorts reboot and asked Bauer to be in it, he wouldn't do it because that requires effort and leaving the house. You wouldn't really write comedy for him, would you? You would never see a dime for your work. Yeah, I mean, you are right. Like, I did make the offer. Like, if you're working on a one-man show, reach out to me. I can share some ideas with you. I would have sincerely done that, but nothing would have came from it. You're right. And I wouldn't have expected any money from it either. I would have just maybe like had a phone call with the guy for like an hour or so to be like, yeah, you know, and this is what you need to do. Let me schedule a time to me, you and Sean Jones can talk about this. And then maybe you and him can work together on a more regular basis. But I personally don't have a whole lot of time to devote to working on someone else's one-man show. That's not really my thing right now. That's not my focus. I'm very busy with, especially during the summer, I'm very busy with the WNBA because I host Planet W, a WNBA podcast. Be sure to listen wherever your podcasts are sold. Sign up for the Patreon. Give me money. Donate. Everybody is doing a good job, but it's still my job. Ugh. Again, Donkey Lips, get your shit together, you lispy weirdo. Like fucking, but no, I wouldn't write comedy for him. You're right. I wouldn't actually write comedy for him because I would have got to know him a little bit and realized the kind of person that he was, which is the kind of person that you have all pegged him as in these many different feedbacks that I've got from him. And then I wouldn't have ended up working with him because I would have been like, he's not worth working for, Sean. Sean, let's not work with this guy, is what I would end up saying. That's the conclusion I would have came to easily. But I mean, he does admit in his videos that he gets good advice from people, but then like immediately makes excuses of why he can't try that advice or try to put it into motion. So you can't necessarily feel sorry for the guy. His whole angle is feel bad for me, give me money. But he also doesn't do anything to try to improve his situation. So like it kind of actually reminds me a lot of Fez Whatley from the Ron and Fez show, where Fez had a few heart attacks and started taking medication that made his mood all wacky, and he could never get his shit together. And people would tell him, Fez, you need to do this. You need to try this. His doctor would tell him, do this, this, and this. And he would just go, yeah, I'll just take the pills. Like, I'll just take the pills, and hopefully the pills will sort everything out. I know you're telling me I need to start going on walks. I need to meditate. I need to start doing this. I need to read more. I need to do whatever I can to enjoy life more. But instead of doing that, I'm just going to not and keep doing what I'm doing. So it's really sad because he will live and die this way, man. He really will. And that's not me going, fucking kill yourself or anything, but that's just, he's comfortable. He's even said it before. He's set in his ways. I'm comfortable. I'm set in my ways. I'm not going to change, which is fucking pathetic. That is a pathetic view of life, to go, I am never going to change. I'm only going to do what I do now, and I'm always going to do this. Even though it's self-destructive and it hasn't worked out for me yet, I'm going to keep doing it. That's a shitty way to view life. So I don't know. I mean, it's just, come on, like, Bauer, if you're listening to this one, just know, like, I've idolized people that are in similar health situations as you. Like, I've really looked up to people that are in similar health situations that you're in. And like Fez Whatley, he died at 57 because he thought that he knew better than everyone else and didn't want to take anyone else's advice. Ralphie May died at 45. So you're already up on Ralphie May, but there was another one. Like, go for a walk every now and then, do a little bit of thing, get your diet right, try to, exercise a little bit, try to do something, and he didn't do it. Died at 45. Patrice O'Neal died at 41. So I mean, I'm just saying, man, like, I'm not trying to be a super dick. I could have gone a lot harder on you than I did. I feel like I was a lot easier on you than I should have been. I was a lot easier on you than most of my listeners feel like I should have been. So, I hope that maybe you'll at least one day see that you are the problem and not this whole, like, I'm set in my ways, there's nothing that you can do to get me to change. And you're right. There's nothing that anybody can do to get you to change. You have to do it. It's up to you, motherfucker. So get your shit together, Donkey Lips. We want you to be around, for another 25, 30 years, bro. You're a lolcow that people like milking for laughs. So you gotta stick around on the internet so people can make fun of you and then watch you get sad about it. Because unfortunately, that's your contribution to the entertainment world, bro. You don't have anything else to offer, and you don't want to have anything else to offer. So, guys, go to Michael Ray Bauer's YouTube channel, Hey Bauer. Make fun of him for being the piece of garbage that he is, and throw him some money, because that's what he wants. He wants to be a circus freak. Watch the geek bite the head off of chickens for $2. I don't know. That's what he wants. That is his MO, and that's what he's comfortable doing. He's comfortable embarrassing himself on the internet for just a little bit of that residual remember me from the 90s income. So, it's pathetic, it's sad, but that's my final word on Michael Ray Bauer. Find me on X, JCraft247, Instagram, Universe of Weirdos. Send me an email, universeofweirdos@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to listen to any of your feedback and questions, but I do not want to hear about Michael Ray Bauer anymore. I don't want to hear another goddamn word about Donkey Lips from any of my listeners, so please no responses to this one. I just want this to be my final word on this idiot. Let him live and die as the embarrassing lolcow that he insists on being. But please give me a nice subscribe on your podcast platform, a good rating, 5-star review, big thumbs up, share it with your friends, and join me next time where we will do something else that is far from Donkey Lips. So I am excited to move on from this idiot because I didn't want to do this episode. I didn't want that episode that I did about him originally to get so popular, but it did. So, I don't know. Fuck that guy, I guess. And I will see you next time. Blasting off!